In this video, I'm going to share some ideas which might help you perform better when you're doing your actual official speed solves. I'll preface what I'm about to say by saying that these things should be as subconscious and automatic as possible because you really don't want to have too much going on in your head during an official attempt. So these are things that you need to practice at home and just let them happen in competition and only just focus on your solve. The first thing is, when you get called up to do your solve, there's no rush, you don't have to start straight away, so you make sure you take some time and make sure you're really ready before actually starting your solve. On the other hand, some people also find that sitting down and taking too much time before starting their solve really psychs them out, so some people actually employ the technique of just sitting down and as soon as they sit down, starting their attempt. You can try out both ways and see how you like them. So once you've been called up to do your solve, another thing that might have a bit of an effect on your solves is the actual height of the table and the chair relative to one another. So if the table is really high, you might find that your elbows and hands are in a really unnatural position and the cube is quite close to your face, which is both uncomfortable and bad for look ahead. So personally, I like to hold the cube a little bit lower in a really kind of relaxed and natural position. So ideally, I want the table to be just above my waist height. If you're not feeling comfortable, you can always find something else to sit on or stack two chairs together to make yourself a bit higher. Another thing I suggest trying out is having a pre-solve routine. This routine doesn't need to be complicated at all. So for example, my general idea of a pre-solve routine is just to sit down, kind of turn on my camera, do a few algorithms. If my hands are sweaty, I'll wipe them and then just take a deep breath and do my solve. If you practice this routine enough at home, it's something you can do automatically in official competitions. And the ultimate objective behind having something that you do every time in an official attempt is to really just calm yourself down and relax. During the round, try not to think about the solves that you've already done and what potential averages you can get, because that's something that can really psych you out. And this is definitely easier said than done. Ideally, you just want to be focusing on one solve at a time, which is the next solve. A few other things, so make sure you stay warmed up during the round by doing some solves on a practice cube. Another thing I like to think about is to never actually give up on a solve. So even if I mess something up at the start of my solve, there's always a chance, I could get a PLL skip or a lucky case later on and actually get a decent time. Another thing I like to think about is having a solid grip on my cube, because when I get nervous, my hands get shaky and I fumble, which increases the chance that I actually, slip up or potentially drop the cube. For color neutral solvers, try not to switch your cross color too late into inspection because that can really cause you to panic and mess up. I know it does for me because I've done this plenty of times, way too many times in competition. I hope you can find some of these tips useful and remember to enjoy competitions as much as possible.